Hey guys, Anthony here, and today I want to talk about the topic of casting spells, how we're being put under spells on a daily basis without us even realizing. But before that, I want to ask a question. Have any of you ever experienced being put under a spell or a curse? Personally, I know a few people had to deal with, things back in Africa with witch doctors and so, but that's not the kind of spell that I want to talk about today. Actually, the kind of spell of casting, a spell I want to talk about today is broadcasting, as in telecommunication. And this is often the kind of spells that we've been put on the receiving end much more often than we think on a daily basis. Because through the things that we listen, the songs that we listen, the TV shows that we watch, the movies that we watch, we are receiving this transmission of messages of wavelength and they imprint on us in our minds. When we have a favorite character and we tend to emulate how they act, how they speak, there's something popular, people starting to put shirts of those characters on them, right? It's kind of this embodiment. They're trying to maybe talk like them, walk like them. They think that's cool. Just like when we have older brothers when we're young, examples that we try to follow. When we're young, we emulate, right? Especially when we're young, where our subconscious is open. We're receptors, we receive, we're like sponges. But the thing is, again, we're under constant spells and casted at it. When we look at the definition of the word broadcasting, here is the transmission of wavelengths in all direction through a medium. It's the sharing of messages. It's called when you're broadcasting, sending in all directions, or even the verb, it's sowing seeds. The thing is, again, I want to talk about a move in particular that can be used. Those things can be used to filter the way we see reality, other people, how we experience the world, and maybe how we're supposed to experience of see or be loving people, how our loving relationship is supposed to be, what the ideologies that we have. There's this movie in particular, which is The Notebook, that I want to talk about, right? The Notebook, this, when you think about The Notebook, maybe you think about this love story, this intense, passionate love story where lovebirds are separated and they get reunited together and it's all good. The thing is, when you look at the action that have been taken by both of the main characters, the couple, right? You see a lot of idea of, oh, it's loving, but there's a lot of toxic aspect to their relationship that's not talked about. For example, if we look at the things that they did, there's this idea of not respecting boundaries, the persistent pursuit of Noah that pursues Ali even when she enters a new relationship. She already has a fiance, and she clearly states that it's silver between them. He still keeps pursuing and pushing, right? And that's a bit toxic. There's this emotional manipulation that comes in the fourth in the myth that kind of Noah has, where she's the one that got away. Oh, my life without you is ruined. Intense emotion, right? And then this even this emotional manipulation in the sense that I wrote all these letters for you. Look at what I've done for you. And even Ali's answer, which is sometimes not concrete or, but it's often a passion, just a high of emotion that kind of confuses and cannot see further than at the present moment. Or grand gestures of love. Noah builds a house even if he's not with her. And when her house that he would love, that she would have loved, he built her that kind of house, exactly those details. They're not together at all. It's like this hope that he's holding on that she comes back and can become easily egoic, easily become pressuring, right? And again, those high gestures of love. And it's often, we've been framed a lot here in the West of love. It's those high moments of action, of passion. But we forget the small, consistent action, which are actually communication, respecting boundaries, learning how to live together, which is really where the rubber meets the road. From stories from maybe parents I've talked about, it's the consistent stuff, the small stuff. It's not often in the big. And this is where you really get to encounter, okay, do I actually love this person? And I often know this concept of not in a relationship there needs to be more than love. There needs to be commitment, respect, all those different things. And in our head it's like, oh, as long as the passion is there, and when it's not there, today's when it's harder. We're like, oh, yeah, I don't love that person anymore. I know a couple, and they got married, but they almost didn't get married because there was a thing where maybe the girl thought that, oh, that they weren't in love anymore because uh, she didn't have, that those feelings as much as the beginning, right? And instead, she got talked to by somebody, and that person told her that, love is not only an emotion, or it's more of an action. And maybe like the girl she got, wait, what? She got like, she even argued against it, but then she realized, oh no, it's the small actions that you take towards the other person, and it's not only what is being spoken, what is being the feeling of passion of, oh look, my heart is all bubbling inside. God loved the world that He gave. He did something. Yeshua proved His love by His action, by what He did. And so we get this twisted version of love, and then it goes and affects our relationship because we've been imprinted with those ideas, those unhealthy ideas. I also like the idea of R&B songs where it's like, oh girl, baby, I love you, even though I slept with your best friend, I slept with your auntie, I slept with your mother, that person 3 times in a row in the last week. But look how much I am desperate for you. And then we listen to those songs, and then, yeah, I did this, all those bad stuff, which doesn't even make sense in a healthy mind. But hey, girl, I'm singing this song over you. I'm falling over, oh, all theatrical, and therefore you must answer to that love. And it's like, oh, how much he loves her. And it's, no, actually, that's toxic and healthy. He doesn't respect her boundary. He doesn't respect her, and he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. But we listen to the songs, we dance to them, we print on them, and behind our head, they be like, this is what love is. We gotta be careful with that. But either way, that's what I want to talk about today, how we kind of twist our idea of reality, of love, of relationship, of friendships, too often the medium that we hear, that we watch, and that we are slowly but surely having a mind framed for us. I even think about this Myron Golden, who talks a lot about wealth and how he would remember the stories of Spider-Man, or where the bad guy would always be the rich one. He would talk about the poverty mindset, and how the hero would always be poor and have trouble, and how we would be taught to associate heroism with poverty and evil, with the big bad guys, the bad capitalist, the wealthy bad guy. And in our minds, we get imprinted with this idea that, poverty is good, wealth is bad. Basically, how we get imprinted with those ideas through the medium that we see, and it ends up affecting our mind and affecting the outcome that we see in reality. So that's just all for today. So be careful what we receive, and make sure to keep your shields up and your discernment high. Peace.